Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the way they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
Welcome back to This Week in White Supremacy. Well, we hope, you're coming back. If not, man, maybe this is your first time.
Wouldn't that be something if this is your first time?
If this is your, hopefully
It's
every
the first time
week
for everything.
we get first time people tuning into the show, looking at the show, you know what I'm saying? We just had a high profile call, right? We may get some A-list sponsorship behind the show, thanks to, our brother behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So welcome to everybody. This is This Week of White Supremacy. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, and I am next to
the wonderful, the delightful, the always kind and
Always
encouraging Miracle. What's poppin'? I'm happy to be here.
Miracle Luther King, right?
You know what?
All
It is
about
what
peace.
it is.
Miracle Luther King. She's about peace.
Of course, peace and positivity.
Peace and positivity. Speaking of peace and positivity, our brother.
Yes.
Nature.
I am Treble, Nature Love Shaheem. Brother Nature. I go by a lot of monikers. The best person on this couch right now. I'm just probably the best MC that you see on the camera.
He
right
said,
now.
drop it. This is violence. Y'all talking about
Gunshots. That's
violence.
That's what we need, the gunshot sound effects. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get all the sound effects pretty soon. We're going to get a gunshot. Okay, so we just heard from the best MC, self-proclaimed, on the couch. And
I'm a high value man.
you're
what?
a high...
I'm a high value man.
And what makes you a high value man, sir?
I'm a lot of things actually. Asking people what they bring to the table.
You have a podcast. You're a black man
I have a title at a national arts organization.
Come
I
on,
am
bro.
a high value
Speak
man.
on that.
We
That's
receive
right.
numerous grants.
You are in the 10%.
Am I?
I don't know. I'm asking.
definitely not in the 10%. No.
What?
I'm definitely not. I'm about to say. I mean, I'm definitely in the 10th percentile of something, but I mean, not earning.
Okay.
I'm definitely not earning. But
I don't know, brother. You with that, One Hood.
I mean, we do
we're
eat
not gonna go
swordfish.
there.
We do eat swordfish. we do have new cars.
We do drive Nissans.
We do drive Nissan.
I don't know. I'm poor. I'm broke, so I don't know what people
all
are
of
talking
us.
about.
Your car's newer than mine.
I am struggling.
All of us are struggling.
We are
and
struggling with white supremacy.
Man,
Niggas love
are we
struggling.
struggling?
Niggas love struggling.
Absolutely, yes.
You can't out-rap me.
I am the poorest. We're trying to put my business out there. What?
Man.
No.
He did try to throw
you see
your.
that?
He tried to act like
Do
he
you
was in a
see?
Ferrari.
Right.
Miracle woke up in a new Bugatti.
I have a Toyota, old faithful, old reliable. Not even a push to start.
You put a key in your car, Miracle?
Oh,
That, man,
see,
that's
poor,
animal shit, yeah.
struggling.
Wrong
You
with
see
that,
this?
Miracle?
I
You
could
see?
You still do that?
You see, right? Don't even have warm seats.
Oh, you don't
White
have
supremacy.
seat warmers?
White supremacy has,
Wow.
free me.
I got a heated steering wheel. I got AC and heat in my seats.
That's why it makes you a high value man.
That's
brother.
what makes me. Listen, if you want to ride luxury, baby, holla at me. I'll pull up.
Luxury Nissan.
Right in my luxury Nissan.
No, in your luxury Nissan.
With my tinted windows.
Oh my God. But I think
Inside jokes, people. Inside jokes.
Yes. We are. I think you mentioned struggling with white supremacy.
We are
and,
struggling with white supremacy.
Some days are more of a struggle than others, right? Absolutely. And this is one of those like super struggle days for white supremacy because we're here in Pittsburgh. And one of the news, although it made national news, it was news that we particularly have been dealing with in Pittsburgh, which is the death of Peter Spencer.
Right.
Peter Spencer, a Jamaican immigrant from Pittsburgh that went hunting with friends, co-workers. They went out to Venango County and turned up murdered, right?
Right.
Turned up, shot 9 times. And this was December 12th, right?
Correct.
So today, March 15th, we heard that there were going to be no charges placed. Now, just to give some context, I guess one person was arrested the day after that person was questioned. I don't even know if you even use the word arrested. That person was questioned and let go, right? And let go.
Yeah.
So we don't, as far as I know, we don't have that person's name hasn't been released, nor has the other
they
people.
never did release the name.
Right, nor has the other people who were there that
Yeah.
all had weapons were released. And then 3 months later, Venango County comes up and says that it was self-defense, that they don't have any, legal way to prove that it wasn't self-defense. You know what I'm saying? And so, although I thought maybe if you arrest them, you kind of put the burden of proof on them, maybe, but I don't know. I don't believe that if we all grabbed a white person and went hunting with them and that person turned up, shot 9 times, that we would be not arrested and not charged with murder. Mug shots and faces are out there. I don't believe that would happen, but I don't think that, and I'm coming to you, Farouk, I don't think we expect, I didn't expect, after 3 months that Venango County was going to say, we're going to prosecute all of these people. I mean, we expected that you were dragging your feet this long because you were just waiting to say you weren't going to prosecute these people. So I'll come to you, Farouk, as to how you feel. I definitely want to get Miracle, your legal aspect, and then, Treble, your aspect as well.
I'm not as well versed in legalese as my twin is, but I know looking at this, the fact that you get called in self-defense for shooting a black man 9 times is wild to me, with several of those shots being in the back.
Right.
Right? I don't know how you can defend yourself against somebody who's away from you or running away from you, right? If your back is turned, that no longer becomes self-defense, that becomes aggression, right? So you shot this person 9 times, multiple shots in the back, and then self-defense. He had wounds all over his body. So in my mind, that just means that he was circled. He was surrounded and shot multiple times from multiple angles. Like he had shots in the face, the chest, the butt, the back, the butt. So you know what I mean? It's like you shot. That's just wild to me that's considered self-defense.
Right, and for what we know, I don't think, and what I was reading about the case, I didn't see whether or not they said that there was more than one shooter. We know all of these people had guns.
Yeah, if it's only one shooter, that makes it look even worse.
Is it one shooter? Is it more than one? And then I think you pointed out. I also didn't hear anything about whether or not they even called an ambulance.
Right.
Like you said, if this was your friend.
Yeah.
And your friend starts, according to, and this is what the story was, your friend starts tripping out,
acting
or your
erratically.
friend starts acting erratically and has a gun, and you shoot your friend. You would think that you would try to administer first aid, you would call the ambulance, something to try to keep your friend alive. But as far as we know, that didn't happen. He was found the next day.
He was found a substantial amount of time later from the actual time of death, from the actual, right? That's right.
On somebody's lawn.
Yeah,
so that doesn't seem like a friend thing. What is your feelings, Treble?
I feel like we're witnessing an action, a sense of intersectionality, right? Where it's like, not only do you have this black man who was shot and killed multiple times, but you have an immigrant man who was shot and killed. And I feel like because he wears those 2 titles, they kind of double down on how much they don't give a fuck about his humanity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
No, I think you make a great point. Miracle, I guess one of the things I asked initially was, could our state attorney general be involved? Josh Shapiro, we learned that Venango County DA would have to ask for him specifically to be involved, which they're not going to do. And why would they now if they dismissed all the charges? They kind of washed their hands with it. I guess people are asking for the federal. Do you think the federal government will be involved, and do you think that there might possibly be federal charges following this up?
I mean, there is a strong possibility, because usually when there is gun violence, the federal government likes to get involved. We know after Wilkinsburg, the federal government came down really hard all over Pittsburgh, so they do have a past precedent to get involved with these type of situations. Again, it's very interesting to me that they're saying this is a stand your ground castle doctrine defense that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but they haven't put that evidence out there. the defense has the burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that it is stand your ground, not the prosecution.
Right.
So it's very interesting the terminology that is being used by this DA. It seems like he's advocating for the defense and not for the position of the prosecutor, number one. Number two, it's very interesting they're talking about like the drugs. Apparently everyone was using drugs. So who else was drug tested?
Right.
What was all the witnesses drug tested? The person that was detained, was that person drug tested? And if not, how can you say that beyond a reasonable doubt this situation occurred? I think this is not the end. And depending on what type of guns, we don't know if those guns are registered. We do know that drug use and guns is a violation. So again, the federal government has jurisdiction to prosecute.
Right.
So it'll be very interesting if they have the political will to do so.
Right, and I think that you make a great a point, right? And these are all questions that I guess I don't know, we'll find out, or and I don't know if the Venango County DA like took questions at the press conference, but you make a great point. Like, was everybody else drug tested? Like, did you drug test these people? But the minute that you say, it is weird that you say, one, this was the DA, and we've seen this with white district attorneys and white defendants, right? You've seen like the DA kind of, almost like become a defense attorney for these white men accused of either killing black people or definitely like police officers accused of killing black people, right? The DA, instead of charging them, oftentimes like works to prevent them from being convicted. And it looks very similar with that, right? Were they drug tested? And like the fact that they say, his office can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Spencer's death wasn't self-defense. It'd be interesting to go back and see, like, when you arrest me, like, can you prove without a reasonable doubt, like, all of these other things? I'd be curious to see if there's some patterns in this district attorney, and then lastly, the fact that they say he didn't detect any hate or bias in the shooting. I thought it's also pretty, right. I mean, why? As a white, DA, like, would you expect them to? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, that's such a frustrating stance to take because, all these bills that are now being passed or brought forth to legislation around the definition of hate crimes.
Right.
The state of Georgia not having a hate crime for Ahmaud Arbery, but the federal government stepping in and forcing to be tried as a hate crime is worth looking at. And if you're going to examine, like, I guess the precedence of it, as it were. But, let's fuck all the legal talk. You got 9 white people who killed or at least present for the murder of one black man.
I don't. Was it 9 or was it? I think it was like maybe 4 or 5. I don't know if it was 9.
5 plus 4 is 9.
Yeah.
Right.
Got you.
It's the same thing, right? But
there was a number of them.
It was a number of people to where if it were on the inverse, this would be looked at completely different.
Completely different.
Like if this was 4 or 5, shit, we walk down the street 3 at a time. It's a gang.
100%.
Right. So it's like, you had 4 or 5 people who enticed the person into the middle of nowhere. For all of those who aren't local to Pittsburgh or familiar with the area, Venango County is a hike. It's a good trek away from the city.
Right.
It's wooded. It's not exactly a place you're gonna find a multicultural haven of people. Least of all like Jamaicans. So for them to just have this brother there and then be present for his murder and not even reference hate whatsoever or any type, it's fucking wild to me, bro. That's a madness.
And then it's even crazier that like they're saying it's beyond reasonable doubt, yet his body wasn't found until the next day.
Right.
So it's if this was self-defense, wouldn't they have called right away? You know what I'm saying?
If it was self-defense, right, wouldn't they? And like I said, I mean, I think that's what I'm saying. Not only if it was self-defense, but if this was your friend. Mm-hmm. If this was somebody that you say that's your friend,
right,
it's somebody that then, even if he was wilding out, and he had a gun, let's say you fear for your life, you might not try to kill him, right? You might even try to maybe you want to get the gun out of his hand or shoot him in the arm or something like that. But if you do shoot your friend and he goes down, you would think you would want some type of
support.
Some type of support. You would call an ambulance. You would be like, okay, you don't want him to die, and then you would call the police, right? And you would say immediately, like, this is what happened. Hey, blah blah blah. It shouldn't be a case of where the next day they find his body on somebody's lawn, and then they got to go see you. And like I said, I got so many questions because then, we were told there was a camera there. Did they?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they found a
I didn't know
camera
that.
there. And so like, was any footage found on the camera? But like you said, I think like what we've seen is like one, and then I think the final question would be, why did this take you 3 months?
Yeah.
Like, what took you 3 months to come to this conclusion? More than 3 months after he died. You know what I'm saying? Like, why did this take so long? And so I think that's all those things that we maybe we'll find out. Obviously, our prayers are with his family, and we'll see if there's anything that we can get involved with. We'll keep everybody updated if there's going to be any type of show of support for the family. We definitely want to be there and support. Any closing comments? You had anything, Miracle?
This is a mess, but this also reminds me of Ahmaud Arbery again, and people have to understand that sometimes DAs do get it wrong. They may be doing the best they can with a limited amount of resources, but it doesn't make sense. And again, there's one of the problems with our current judicial system is we never get to understand what actually occurs, what actually led up to these situations. We know missing cell phones, time, check-ins, all of this stuff that's been discussed, and so we're not going to get these answers, and this is why you see families out here just like wanting to know what happened. This doesn't give them the answers because it just doesn't make sense. Like, how is this person hallucinating, but also making you get on the ground, but also you still have a gun to fight back, and you get to shoot far away. It just doesn't make sense. I wish Manny was here to talk about the different guns and rifles that they were using. It just, again, there's some more questions than answers.
And so maybe, the federal government get involved. Maybe, I know, like I said, his family had did an autopsy. So we still have not heard a response from his family as of yet. When his family gives a response, we'll definitely share that information with everybody. And it's wild because, one of the things that we kind of touched on it last week was this lynching bill that was finally, after 200 years, passed by the federal government, and it's called the Emmett Till lynching bill. And it came out this week that Emmett Till's family are seeking to reopen a probe into his lynching that happened in 1955. And so, as we're talking about 3 months for Peter Spencer, right?
60 years.
55. Is that that's more than that. That's
my dad's
70 years.
Yeah, my dad's 66, so that's like That's 1950. Yeah, my dad. Yeah, that's
and
wild.
So it said that relatives of Emmett Till joined with supporters in asking authorities to reverse their decision to close an investigation of the black teenager's death in 1955 lynching, and instead to prosecute a white woman at the center of the case from the very beginning. Authorities have known for decades Carolyn Bryant Donham, now in her 80s, living in North Carolina, played a key role in Till's slaying, and they need to act immediately to bring her to justice before time runs out.
Basically means before she dies.
It says, 100%. Relatives presented Mississippi authorities with a petition signed by about 250,000 people seeking a renewed probe into the killing. And so, I guess, what do y'all think? I mean, this white woman, I mean, she's
the OG Karen.
Bro, she is right. She is the original Karen.
She's the OG Karen.
She is the original Karen. Supposedly said that Emmett Till whistled at her or said something to her, and there were reports that he didn't even do that, right?
Right. Didn't someone lie on their deathbed? Say they lied?
I don't know, but I know that we know her name. We know that she's had a role in his death.
Yeah.
Like, and this is a murder, right? When they be,
kidnapping, murder, torture.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, and think about it, right? Because if you riding in a car with somebody that commits a murder, you get charged with the murder.
Facts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if he was murdered, tortured, kidnapped, she's still walking around. I know we be on some abolition. I want this woman underneath the jail. I mean, that's me. I know I have work to do. What was it? There was like a little thing that said
Unlearning.
No, it was talking about like, I'm not all the way there where God wants me to. I'm not, I'll take the mid road, right? I can't, when they go low, I'm gonna go mid because I haven't got to the high yet.
I mean,
so what do y'all think? Do y'all think that, I mean, she is 80, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's 80 years old. Do we think that this is like, cruel and unusual, or do we say
Did she apologize?
80
Has she apologized? Has she taken accountability? Has she devoted her life to anti-racism? I haven't followed up with her, but like.
That is a great question.
We already know the answer to that. Like, come on, yo, listen. Cruel
So
and unusual is what happened to Emmett Till.
So let me say, it says the Justice Department said historian basically said that that she allegedly admitted to lying about her encounter with Emmett Till, but they couldn't find recordings or transcripts to substantiate that. So that's a great question. Did she apologize? Has she been doing? You would think that she would be doing work with the Emmett Till file, but maybe not. Maybe she's an 80-year-old racist and don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying?
And that's probably, it's just like in life. Remember Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, like when the man killed what's his face in there, and then blamed him for it, and then just didn't change his ways afterwards. Like, state of Mississippi got 40 years of hard labor out of it. Like, she don't, like, her feelings are gonna be the same. I don't need to see any receipts of her doing anti-black or anti-racism shit. She is the reason that a 14-year-old child, well, he was younger than that, right? Before he's 14, was tortured to death and lynched, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a fuck what type of shit she did to repair her life. Like, that don't hold up to me. Fuck her. Everybody look like her. That's how I feel.
Yeah, so I guess they closed this December of 2021. And it is weird that you would close the investigation. The woman's right here.
Yeah.
We know her name.
They're
we
not
know where
interested-
she lives.
She might be related to somebody.
She's right there.
She might be related to a prostitute
arrest
or
this
something.
lady. Like,
I
what are we
think-
doing?
I think the federal government is just like stop coming to us, right? And this is just on the 2-year anniversary of Breonna Taylor,
Right.
where her family just delivered, demands to the federal government right after. Oh my gosh, the baby in Ohio, the federal government just said they're not going to investigate and bring charges in that case. And so I think the federal government's like, we're not going to be your savior. We're not going to tackle these issues, and you need to stop looking at us. But
So they're basically like, we know they're racist, but we can't do nothing about it.
No, I think that a part of it is there is this rush from Biden and other people to still be post-racial, to have this post-racial utopia, and to be like, the mistakes of the past, we know what happened, but we're moving on from it. Like, we're like, it's not like, because like kind of like Build Back Better, like it didn't happen, so we're moving on. Like, black people, yeah, we tried, we're just gonna move on, next thing, and we're still living with it, breathing with it, and having to navigate like these systemic failures in our community. And at the Department of Justice, it's not black run, it's not black led, and going back a few years, it's not politically black led either.
Right.
And so there is no, motivation to open and prosecute these cases, because really you're going to see an 80-year-old grandma in her handcuffs.
Man, that's exactly what I want to
I
say.
hope
Nobody's
push it
right,
down.
right? But this white
80-year-old
woman,
grandma in handcuffs, yes.
But we saw it when it was like the killers, the 80-year-old men. We see them all the time. The Nazis, they find
That's what I'm
abroad.
saying.
We see them all the time.
I'm all for like Jewish people that want to go get these 80-year-old. If you 90-year-old and you a Nazi, handcuff their ass and make them pay.
Push them down, beat them, smack them up. Make them close the police car door.
So we're used to it, but it's this idea that our nation does protect white women and has this white fragility still of the issue,
100%.
and so that's where we are.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come to you, Treble, but I did want to say that it says the investigation was reopened because a gentleman named Timothy Tyson put a book out called The Blood of Emmett Till, which alleged that this woman, Carolyn Bryant, recanted her testimony that Till had grabbed her and uttered obscenities. However, during the investigation, she denied that she recanted her testimony in an interview with the FBI. So the FBI concluded there was insufficient evidence to prove she lied to the FBI by denying that she recanted her testimony. So I guess she said one thing to this guy who did the book, and I guess maybe she was trying to, come to Jesus because she's 80. But then when the FBI came and was like, yo, we can prosecute you for lying to the FBI, changed her tune. What do you think, bro?
So this is such an interesting conversation because I'm on the side of like, abolish the prison industrial complex completely. But it's like, I'm also realizing the reality that like this 80-year-old woman is probably looking at this and not really understanding the context behind what she did, because again, she is a white woman.
Yeah.
So it's like this holds so much weight to us because it's proof of what can happen to us no matter how true the evidence against us
100%.
is.
Yeah.
And for her, it's just another black kid who died because of some shit that was normal back in her day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she's probably thinking about it like, why are we still talking about this? You know what I'm saying? This was back in, that time period, this was what was normal. So it's like, she's probably not thinking like anything is wrong with this. And it's kind of hard to think about like how we could get her to take accountability because she is 80. She's like at the last lap of life.
But what's wild is the guy who said she recanted said that she did so, that she was horrified by what she did. There was a great burden of guilt and sorrow. But when the feds came, and was like, yo, did you lie to the FBI?
I was sorry, not that I wanted to go to jail.
100%.
Right.
She was like, no, I never told that dude none of that. So I think the fact that, and it goes, it's like like when black people die, the burden of proof is on us. It's like, and then even if we be having video, it still doesn't matter. And that's why.
What did you do to make me kill you, nigga? What did you do to make me kill you?
And it's like, that's why we want like the Boston prison industrial complex, because we're always the first one in prison, first one given life, all of that. And then, the white people that are deserving of justice oftentimes never have to get behind them bars anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's the majority of us. So I'm for, like I said, abolish the prison industrial, except for Carolyn and anybody involved with January 6th. Like all of them, arrest all of them.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the Capitol today.
Arrest all them.
We're gonna talk about the Capitol
today. But before,
today.
and this is, I guess, it's this is kind of like white women wildin'. I don't know if that's the title.
White Women Wednesday?
White women wildin'?
White women wildin' on a Wednesday.
White women wildin' on a Wednesday. I don't know, because we had another situation of a white woman, and it's just it's wild. I mean, it's Women's History Month. That's great, and we love to see women accomplish, but it just seems like it's weird that and we've had conversations about white women, white feminism. Oftentimes black women get thrown in the back of white feminism, right? It was Sojourner Truth had to say, yo, ain't I a woman? And it continues on. So there's a movie director named Jane Campion. I'm glad you said that, because I was about to mess up her whole name.
That's what I'm here for.
Jane Campion directed a movie called Power of the Dog that's on Netflix that got a lot of love. And she won the Critics' Choice Award. And when she won the Critics' Choice Award, for whatever reason...
Can I read this?
Come on, thespian.
Go ahead,
do your dramatic reading.
No, brother, do that.
I just want to show off that I've been learning how to read.
Yes.
Jane Campion took her stance, winning an award during Women's History Month.
Yes.
Come on.
To not just elevate the platform of women.
Yes, no.
Right? And let's lodge up all the women directors, all the people who identify as women who are doing amazing things in film and cinematography.
No.
She said, well, I'm not going to stop there.
No, not going to stop there.
I got smoke for two of arguably the most famous and accomplished women in our lifetimes. I got smoke for these niggas. She went on to say, and I quote, "It's absolutely stunning tonight to be here among so many incredible women." The Power of the Dog Helmer stated her speech with the best director. Then she said, "What an honor to be in the room with you," she told Tennis Legends. "I'd also like to give my love out to my fellow the guys. And Serena and Venus, you are such marvels. However, comma,
pause.
You do not play against the guys like I have to." I'm sorry, that was probably a lot of noise in the microphone. So she said, you know what? I'm going to win this award right here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm going to highlight that you niggas have it easier than me because I compete against men.
Yes.
If only you niggas knew my struggle.
If only you knew.
If
only you knew. And then it's like, why though? Like, it's almost like
that's what you decided to do.
It was almost like the presence of these two black women
Just
like,
was irritating your soul. Like, you were
bothered her. How dare you be in the room?
How dare you be in attendance, nigga? Like,
While I'm accepting this award on behalf of all women. And this is the wild part about it, right? It's a lie, right? Venus and Serena have competed against men.
Come on,
They
man.
have mad mixed doubles championships.
What
are you talking about? It wasn't even true.
Just, Miracle, you got to chime in on this because me personally.
Why me?
Just wait. Just let me finish. Just let me finish.
What I got to do with this?
I don't understand what people, just the globe's gripe is with Venus and Serena Williams. Like, no matter what they do,
It does seem like people
like the world hates them.
Yeah, what in the hell?
To me, I'm looking at this as someone who loves athletics and loves competition.
Right.
Like, give the flowers for the athleticism,
Yeah.
right? Give the flowers for all the championships, all the accolades, right? But what have they done to make the world angry?
Be confident black women and
Be beautiful,
and win.
confident black women?
And
I mean, that's my answer.
And
I guess.
whoop on white women. I guess maybe Jane was standing up for all the white women that Venus
For,
and Serena
Steffi Graf and,
done beat down
everybody.
and took off Marina. What was her name? Maria Sharapova and all of them. So Miracle, how did you because they said like when she said that the camera goes to Venus and Venus has to grit her teeth instead of throwing whatever, so I wish somebody would have threw something at this woman.
I mean,
what's your?
if
How do
only
you feel
there
about
was a
Jane?
movie called King Richard, that would.
If only.
If only there was a movie about. No, I think it was just like this whole like, why would you even bring us up moment? Like people are like, what? Like I don't get it. Like it's not even a comparison. And granted, like they're not even in the same field, so why are you going up against them? Like, just why can't we just celebrate women, be happy? But again, she did apologize like after being like dragged across social media because it made everybody was like, "What the hell is happening?"
Yes.
The first live show back from COVID, everybody finally gets to be out and about, and here she go, just making a fool of herself.
Jane said, "I'm outside."
She said, "Outside." Haven't been able to do microaggressions for some months. Here I go.
Lord have mercy. Yeah. Treble, what's your?
I'm just thinking like, so you're. This is your acceptance.
This is your acceptance speech
for a movie.
By the way.
And you bring up.
By the way, y'all niggas ain't shit.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like.
Height of your career.
I want to know what the context behind those statements were because
Why?
it's like, was there a conversation that happened before
I was gonna say,
that
she
she
write
had
this?
to like clear up?
That's a great question.
If I win, she probably the night before. Listen, if I win,
Serena and Venus.
first one's on the list.
Both of you.
Fuck them.
We got smoke.
Can't wait. I got ether for them.
Yeah, like just like you said, like what, like why would that be a thought in your mind, right?
Yeah,
not like uplifting, not like right. I mean, you could have just stopped that. Hey, I won this. There's a lot of amazing women in here, but to try to like trivialize them. It's always weird when people do that. In your moment, you gotta try to trivialize them to like, as if that makes you better or more, accomplished. Well, now she did apologize. I will give here. This is what she said.
I don't care about this.
She said, I made a thoughtless comment equating what I do in film world with all that Serena and Venus Williams has achieved. I did not intend to. Yes, you did.
I'm about to say, come on.
Your intent was to devalue these.
She said, why are they at my table, is what she said.
Yeah.
I did not intend to devalue these two legendary black women and world-class athletes. You absolutely meant to do that. However,
that's exactly what you did.
That was your
exactly.
shut up and dribble moment.
Yeah,
100%. Shut up and dribble that ball on that tennis racket. She says the fact is the Williams sisters have actually squared off against men on the court and off. They have both raised the bar and opened doors for what is possible for women in this world. The last thing I would ever do, but you did it though.
I would say, yeah.
The last thing I would ever do
is do it again.
You did it Thursday. What are you talking about?
The last thing I'd ever do is do it again.
2 days ago.
Right.
That's exactly what you did. Oh, so she says, I apologize and completely celebrate you.
I mean,
No, they didn't ask to be celebrated.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what?
So I think-
white women are always sorry after the fact.
100%.
It's like after, like,
100%.
had there not been Black Twitter,
Yes.
she'd be like, and
Yes.
when she hosts guests, She'd be like, and this is the award that I got for shitting on Venus. Come marvel in my room of accolades with many leather-bound books.
But you're right. It's like you apologize because people came at people proved you like factually wrong and came at you like, why would you do this in this moment? So to say like the last thing I would do, no, that's actually what you did.
Right.
What are you talking about?
At that point, just wear it.
Just wear it.
So I'm guessing I finally like understand the context. Because like it's seeming as though what she was trying to say is like, yeah, I see you, Venus and Serena, but I just want you to know I work harder than you do. You know what I'm saying?
I just want you to know.
Yeah. He wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Oh my God! But you said, white women wearing it.
White women wearing it.
Speaking of white women wearing it, right? A white woman wearing a T-shirt.
Oh man!
Went viral,
bruv.
on Twitter,
bruv.
Right? It was happy #Women's History Month with a celebratory emoji, and what she was celebrating was a picture she took in a shirt that said, "Stolen black breast milk built this nation. Liquid gold."
You know what? I see why the conservatives be out here fighting back against critical race theory because, like, who asked people to do this? Like, can you imagine some man going home just trying to see his family on the holidays, and this is what he has to walk into? I get it. I fully get why these boomers said, you know what? I think the fuck not. And here we are. Because literally, who asked her to do this?
And I mean, she's not wrong, but at the same...
She is wrong. No, it's like, abolish the T-shirt complex, #1.
Yes.
Because the woke T-shirt complex is just ruined.
It's passe. It's passe.
It's too much.
Yes.
But I'm saying, like, while that's factual, yes, stolen black breast milk did do a lot. We don't need you to cape for it.
Real shit.
Like, that's the last thing we need, Becky, is, is your snowball tears.
It's not, she's not even tearing. She didn't put like, Happy Women's History Month, or she didn't say like, here's a horrible fact I want to share with you, right?
Right, okay.
She's celebrating. It's Happy Women's History Month celebration, stolen black, and it's like
stolen black breast milk.
Yeah, and because it's like, and kind of like Miracle said, like that's traumatic.
It is.
Like for black people and for black women specifically.
Where was she when they arrested them people in New York for stealing all them Pampers and the Similac? Did she have smoke then?
I don't know.
Correct. And they over here talking about the Similac is poison. Like, where was she getting her white women friends to donate their breast milk?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And she's like pointing at the shirt, like she's very proud of herself, And that's where it's like.
Is she in an interracial marriage?
I don't know if she's in an
interracial
interracial marriage. I hope not. If she was in an interracial marriage, we would definitely have to like FaceTime her husband and be like, what in the hell is going on? But I think it's that thing, like you said, of like, you think you're doing something, like, but it's like, maybe, I don't know, if you have a black friend, maybe you want to like text them and say,
no, their black friends are not your soundboard.
That's true. Okay.
Listen,
just throw it away. Just don't.
The black friends are like, oh, she getting jumped. I told her to do that. Listen,
man. And then didn't you say she got upset at black women being upset at her?
Well, yeah, I mean, right. So black women initially, of course, black women was saying like, "Hun, this ain't it, right?" It was a black woman that said like, "Could you imagine like you going to get your coffee at 8:30 in the morning? you open the door in Starbucks, you see some white woman with this T-shirt, like reminding you of like your traumatic, like your
and there's
trauma,
no breast milk in here,
right? Shit. And it's like but that is the thing, right? It's like you're wearing this black trauma, like you did something. Mm-hmm. Like she's pointing at the shirt, like she accomplished.
She thought she ate. She definitely thought she ate. She's like, yo,
or maybe she thought she drank.
Yo, listen, she probably waited till like 11:59 and was like, listen, Wednesday, Instagram, Twitter, they ain't ready. They post. She probably had it like spell checked and everything.
I want to know who made the shirt. Who designed the shirt?
Who designed it? Yeah.
When they were printing it out, I want to know what they thought. Like, because there were so many steps.
So many steps, right? Like, what
quality
was the
control failed?
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why it looks like a cow, like a single spotted cow.
Because it's milk.
But is breast milk brown?
No, but the black woman is.
There's so many questions I have looking at this
To
photo.
get back to your thing, right? Immediately, Farouk, on Twitter, immediately.
It kind of looks like eggs. Like, I'm
right.
looking at this like eggs.
Immediately, black women
art.
said,
It's art.
Picasso.
Black women said, like, this isn't it.
Right, yeah.
This is offensive to us. This is our trauma, our pain. This is how oftentimes white feminism shows up. And she was not having that.
She said,
and she
no.
proceeded to actually show a bunch of pictures of black women nursing blacks, you know, the artistic depictions or pictures of black women back in the day nursing white babies.
We don't
Which
need
then people will say, like, well, what did you do, a Google? Like, or do you have this on your phone? Like, you have images of black women nursing white children? Or, like, what is wrong with you? And so she fought it. She deleted it now. She fought it for a while, though. She fought black women for a while over their own agency to her shirt. You know what I'm saying? Her likes on Twitter.
Cassidy.
Right.
The Cassidy.
It's like white feminism either completely erases black people or black women, or it's just like, let me just use you and tokenize you and your pain, your trauma. And white feminism refers to a specific type of violent, ignorant feminism.
It's the
for
worst on
that.
the planet.
Yeah.
It's the scariest shit on the fucking planet, man.
You know, and I know like we're about to, you know, get into it, but still.
Well, you know, speaking of white feminism and Women's History Month, you know, a white feminist woman.
Oh God!
Isn't she transracial at this point?
Stop it.
Is she trans? One of them are.
I don't know. I
transracial.
mean, but you know, Kim Kardashian, you know, a mogul, a white woman mogul was, and you know, like she's built an empire off of what, and you could argue talents. I don't know.
Black culture.
Talent in the absence of
black women's.
Right. I'll tell you what she built that empire on.
Kim is
Stealing from black women. Stealing from black women.
There's a news network.
Stealing from black women. Stealing from black women. Stealing from Brandy's credit card allegedly.
Yes.
Stealing from Trina.
Yes.
Stealing from
Beyonce.
Blue and stealing from black women.
Not working for Paris Hilton?
Stealing from black women.
Yes.
You know.
Stealing black men from black women?
Yeah.
Because she's chosen.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I'm sorry, black women.
Just sit there and tell someone if you want to make it get up and work.
Yes.
When you have been sued for stealing people's ideas.
100%.
For accused of running sweatshops, maybe that's not it. To
Yeah.
talk about work ethic, yes, we all need to have a work ethic, but in this capitalistic society, the past 2 years we have seen that the people who work the hardest are the most exploited, the most forgotten, and the most abandoned, not only by our society, but our government. So maybe just check the room.
Yeah.
Check the room before you do your multi-million-dollar TV show where you're telling people they're poor.
Yes.
The poor is the poor because they don't want to work.
Kimmy
But then
Cakes.
again, that makes sense of why her significant other was cozying up to the conservative side.
Yeah.
Because that's that pull yourself from your
Pull yourself up.
Yeah.
from
Oh,
your
yeah.
bootstraps.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a
And
great
that
point.
was basically, for those that don't know, you know, Kim Kardashian basically said,
You broke
like,
bitches should work. You hoes better work like I did.
that was her advice to women. Get up and effing work, right? As you have mad assistants, mad unpaid interns, running to get your coffee,
And that's what
doing
I'm
your
saying,
makeup,
like-
mad nannies, taking care of your children. And so, like, the idea that you was right, and we're in the midst of a global pandemic,
right,
where folks are getting paid the least amount as possible, where a lot of mothers had to work, find a way to work, and homeschool their children because they couldn't send them to school and do all of this extra stuff.
And she's acting like her 24 hours are the same
Yes.
as someone
Yes.
else's 24 hours.
Yes.
Like you were saying,
Yeah.
she got people to do everything for her.
100%.
You have the time and agency to kind of, you know, go steal ideas and,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
do all these, take,
Yes.
you know, these Instagram pictures that you get paid $1 million to
Right.
post.
She's
for.
not taking them pictures.
Right, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
She
Like-
got photographers, right?
Right, yeah.
She has nannies. She has cooks. She
Everything,
has
bro.
trainers. She has a driver.
Yeah.
Like, what is she, like, come on, man. Like, and just like you said, to try to make it seem like, oh, I know why it's not working. They're not working hard enough. Like, and then say, but said, I'm gonna come to you. Say it like she put bass in her chest.
Yeah.
She's looking down on y'all broke ass. What's wrong with you? And it's like to like the non-awareness. I know
Right,
there's a
yeah.
word for that, but I can't think of it right now. They're like
The empty-headedness?
Yeah.
I'm starting to notice a rhetoric amongst like the rich, and this rhetoric is to pressure people into working, right? Because when you look at it, they build their empire off the labor of the working class.
Yes.
So then they sit there and they say, hey, if you want to be rich, you got to work. And
Yes.
then they try to hire you for their shit. And then you're stuck at these,
Right.
you know, dead end jobs, not really breaking any ceilings that someone had to break for them to be in the position that they're in. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like they're trying to get you. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what's interesting about that is that when people do work, what do they tend to do with their money? They put it in the bank, right?
Yeah.
And when you go to get your money out from the bank,
Ooh,
right, that you work so hard to put in there,
come on.
you can't even do that without getting the police called on you because someone thinks you're robbing the fucking bank, bro.
Yeah.
Speak that.
I was waiting. I'm surprised it took this long for a headline of this magnitude to happen. It's still not even picked up this way.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler,
Yes.
the director, who's directed many films. He's done many things. He's gotten monies for these things.
Yes,
And some
yes.
of these things have been culturally lauded,
Yes.
i.e. Fruitvale Station.
Yes.
Right?
Creed.
Right.
Black Panther. Classics, right?
Right.
Classics.
Goes to his financial institution.
Yes.
His financial institution.
Yes.
That his patronage
Yes.
keeps in.
Yes.
Business.
Yes. And when he got there, what did he do?
He followed PPE.
Right? But no, when he showed his ID.
Showed his ID and
Yep,
said, hey,
yep.
listen,
Here's my ID.
I am a person
Yes.
that has money.
Yes.
I would like some, please.
Right.
My money.
Gave him his card.
Right.
Put his number in there because we gotta let him know like that he did all of this, right?
While he was wearing a mask.
Of course,
a
like
toque,
everybody is.
And
Yeah,
sunglasses. That literally is the health and safety regulations
But
when
how do
you're going
you?
outside.
This is my thing though. Like, okay, I give you my card.
My card.
I give you my account number.
And not only that, your name is on your card and the name is on the
And I
identification
say
card.
I want money from my personal account. And because I'm intelligent and I know it's in a global pandemic and I know, no disrespect, I'm in Atlanta and I know people is getting it, you know what I'm saying? Like, please count my money in the back. You know what I'm saying? Because you might not want them counting your $12,000 out there.
Because that's called respecting the jokes.
Respecting the jokes.
You respecting the jokes.
Yes.
But instead, after all of that,
Yes.
the teller
Yes.
says, he's robbing the bank.
Yes. Yes. Call the police. He saying no. They said
Someone
no.
please
They're
call
telling
911.
They're telling him like, yo, we got you. Just be patient. We got you. We're in the back getting your money. We got you. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, bro, put your hands on your head. And he turns around and this dude's pointing their guns at him.
Like,
Whenever
Wow.
they tell you, we got you, just wait.
How- like, who goes to the-
police is on the way and you
Yes.
need to leave.
Yes.
but who goes and robs a bank with their bank card for a specific withdrawal amount? Say, hey, listen,
Yes.
give me $12,000
Yes.
of my money.
Of my money. Yes.
Nothing else.
Yes.
Not in unmarked bills.
Yes.
Just $12,000.
Right.
I mean, you can have unmarked bills, and the thing is, like, this is not the first time this has happened with Bank of America. They've had issues with this.
Oh, I didn't know this.
In the past, but Ryan Coogler is someone who allegedly has anxiety disorder
Right.
as well as a disorder with the way he hears and speaks, and so he is someone who has a disability, and so for him to write down, maybe he's someone to talk to people, maybe
Yes.
he want to explain. Some people don't like talking to people that they don't know, like it's social anxiety.
Also, Miracle, if you respect the jokes.
I don't
you
know what
can't-
jokes is, you
you
know.
can't
Oh,
Yeah,
somebody
no,
robbing. You're not going to go there and say, can you give me $12,000? Like, you're trying to be discreet, right? So he
Correct.
writes it down because he doesn't want to walk out of the bank and have somebody maybe there waiting on him to get his 12. Like, that's intelligent.
I mean,
That's smart.
I mean, I
He's from
allegedly,
Oakland. He's from the Bay. He know what it
That's
is.
smart to do anyway. I think
100%.
there was multiple steps that were missed, but at the end of the day, I don't care if I have $8 in the bank. If I write you a letter and say, give me all 8 in one and $1, go in the back and count it. Go in the back, count my $8,
Yes.
and bring it back to me. It's not.
Facts.
It shouldn't be an issue of, Oh, he had a mask on. Oh, he wrote a note. Oh, you know, he asked people to go in the back. It doesn't matter. And this idea that we're putting the blame and the onus on him for almost getting murdered, right?
Yes.
For
Again,
almost getting,
what did you do that made me kill you, nigga?
shot. I think it's super problematic because he turned around. The officer was right there.
Yes.
What if he moved? You know, like
Yeah.
What if he turned and hit something?
Yeah.
Because he didn't know
Or what
who
if
that person was?
he startled and he jumps, and then that officer shoots and kills him?
Just trigger happy.
And,
Right.
and you know, I do feel sorry for the officers because you know they had to go back to the station and be like Ryan Coogler.
He tried to say, he said, hey, y'all might want to look at this badge I got right there. It got my name on it. I don't want it to get bad for y'all. Like, he tried to tell them.
And the officer was like, see, what had happened was it was them. The officer, I had never seen the officer like drop dime so fast on somebody else. He was like, yeah, I understand.
I didn't see that part.
I get why you, but it was the bank. You got the bank messed up.
And I think it's important to note, because the bank and this will all be like our Terry Cruises of the week, right? They all were black. And I think like a lot of times.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, everybody's black. Everybody's black.
Shit.
The tellers, the cops. And I think it's important to note, like when we talk about white supremacy,
Right.
a lot of times people think that we're talking about solely white people.
Absolutely.
No. Many people of color, black people, brown people, Asian people, and like participate in the culture of white supremacy.
Like
and
on TikTok?
Yeah,
We're not doing that. We're not doing that today.
We're not gonna get into that yet. But absolutely. And so like the idea that like these were black people that looked at another black person and felt threatened, you know what I'm saying? Because if that was J.J. Abrams, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like would they have called the police? Probably not if it was a white person, but because this was a black person, you felt threatened by him. So that's the thing. These are black people participating. And speaking of, I guess we should probably, I know we kind of over time wise, but I mean, you know, we want to dedicate this time to say, would you call Jesse a political prisoner? Would you call him?
Who? The French actor Juicy Smollett?
Free him.
Juicy Smollett?
I agree. Like that. Like, now, okay. Like, it's like I know he's been the subject of jokes, and I know, but there's
And
no
justifiably so.
Yeah.
Justifiably so.
He
There's
has
no way.
not changed his story from day one.
He has
number
not.
one.
He has not.
Number two,
So?
we started top of the hour talking
OJ ain't
about
changed his story?
talking about because OJ didn't do it. Talking about
If I
Emmett
did it,
Till,
if I did it.
and at the end of
But I
the day, if
understand.
this woman can lie and get someone murdered, he can lie,
Yes.
allegedly
Come on.
lie.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
and
not
have
saying he
police
can't.
come out in the cold
Yeah. He
and
didn't hurt
nothing
nobody.
happened.
Right.
He
I'm not
doesn't
saying he
deserve
can't.
to be incarcerated.
Right.
He
If you-
literally
I agree.
could have wrote an apology
Come on,
and
man.
been about his day. It's this idea of like when black people make
Yes.
mistakes,
Yes.
they have to be berated
Yes.
and disrespected,
Yes. Yes.
and
Right.
made
Made an
fool
example
out
of. Made an example
and
out
it
of.
just it's unnecessary. This is about Kim Cook refusing to prosecute
Yep.
him. This
Yep.
is about making him kneel, and when he
Yep.
and when he refused to do so,
Yep.
they're like, "We're just going to take your
Yep.
freedom away." Like it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know what was unnecessary? Him
No.
lying about a Subway sandwich.
Yeah,
He
but,
didn't
but,
say
but,
it.
niggas don't eat
First of
Subway
all,
sandwiches
like
at
you
3
said,
o'clock in the
like you
morning.
said, like real rap, like his career is gone.
Yeah.
All that happened. It is like Miracle saying, like you want to like try to humiliate, like you
Right.
want to like rub this dude's face in it, and to give this dude 5 months in jail.
That's
like
excessive.
that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
When
Like
the
if you
Capitol
want to make
Riot
them
lady,
right.
the Capitol Riot lady is getting 2 weeks in jail. with 3
2
years of probation.
weeks in jail,
The lady
and
who
she's
was
ran up in the
scamming-
Capitol.
The
You know
lady
what I'm
who's
saying?
paying to scam these colleges, put her daughter
Right.
in school.
Becky.
She walked out of the jail and into
Yes.
a movie.
Laura Loughlin.
Becky,
So like,
yeah.
no,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
And-
okay
and-
with
right, and that's-
people being incarcerated.
Yeah,
They
no,
didn't get
no,
hurt.
no.
He could have paid that 120 and kept it moving.
If that woman, Emmett Till woman ain't doing no time,
That's a fact.
Jesse shouldn't
I
be
mean,
doing
I'm
no
not
time.
advocating that Jesse
Like,
should be
yeah,
doing
yeah,
time.
it's like-
it's just
like-
funny to me.
I mean, yeah, but it's like restitution, fine. You want them to pay back the cops, but that was also bullshit.
Right.
But if you want them to pay back the money for the cops, all right, fine. But to try like to incarcerate this dude,
Yeah, that's OD.
Come on,
like,
man, that's
yeah,
bullshit.
jail time.
in a
jail
global
time is OD.
pandemic when no one was injured,
No
it
one was
makes
injured, no
absolutely
one
no
was
victim of
sense.
crime.
And that's not only
And he
the
paid
victimless
for it.
crime.
He's paid
the
for
only
it.
witnesses were the other two people involved. So
yes.
literally, the other two people could be lying, but you gave them immunity first. So therefore, there is really it's just dirty all around.
It's dirty
and at
all
the end
around.
of the day, I know I was doing so well. He doesn't belong in jail. He could have done so much more to help other
on, man.
people.
Yeah.
it could have been a TV show.
Yep.
It could have been a public apology.
It could have been donate this money to a charity.
Yeah.
It could
All
have been
type of
so
stuff.
much. But just like you said, you mentioned, right, that here is a Trump supporter from this area, right?
From the area,
this area.
yeah, Allegheny
Jennifer,
County.
what's her name? Heinel? Jennifer Heinel, right?
Let's call it that.
Yes, she's a Trump supporter that ran up into the Capitol, and she's saying, can I get probation? Why? She's like, I done lost my job for running up in the Capitol. She done lost her husband. Her husband said, don't go to the Capitol, because she went with some other dude. You know what I'm saying? Got busted. You know, she lied to the FBI about her shit.
Did she
you know
cost
what
her
I'm saying?
husband his job? Did he get...
She may have, but according to the FBI, they said she was not remorseful. They said, you know, she lied to them, said she didn't do it, and they found all types of pictures of them. So she's asking for, hey, give me leniency, give me probation. I've already suffered enough. You know what I'm saying? And I almost guarantee, man, they let the one Capitol riot person go to the fucking overseas.
Yeah.
Get on that cruise. We don't care. You know what I'm saying?
And she's only being sentenced to 2 weeks and 3 years probation.
Yes.
But she should at least get 3 years probation for this eye makeup.
Stop.
Like her or her makeup artist needs to be incarcerated post haste.
They're asking for 2 weeks in jail. 2 weeks, and she's begging for jail.
She'll
2
be in a
weeks.
nice jail, man.
And so, like you said, that wasn't a victimless crime. You know what I'm saying?
No. People died.
The dude that took the podium, didn't he get like 3 weeks?
6 months.
6 months, right?
6 months
So
in
he
jail.
got the same amount of time as Jussie got?
Yeah.
Free
Like,
Jussie.
Well,
You know
it's
what I'm
just,
saying?
and as we're rapping, it's still just wild to me. Here we are a year after the Capitol riots. The thing that gets talked about the least is that police officers actually died. Like, were actually killed.
There was one, in fact.
And that's just so wild.
I think it came out either this week or last week that one of the wives of one of the officers that committed suicide, like she won the ability to say like he died like in the line of duty because he committed suicide based on what he saw happen at those Capitol riots. It was like the day after. So she like sued to say no. She wants to get the same amount of
like a pension or whatever.
Yeah, right. He got killed, and she won that case.
Good.
So like you said, cops were killed. Cops committed suicide.
Remember the narrative. Remember the narrative
matter.
post 9/11 about first responders.
Yes.
How like we had to herald them and uplift and everything, and Jon Stewart went to Congress and everything, was crying, and then you have these police officers who were killed and were rescuing lives and doing all these other things. They were just dashed aside like garbage.
That's aside. I did want to do before we close, and we'll get, if you want to get the white pages miracle, because we haven't been doing our black excellences, man, and we gotta get.
We are
we
black
gotta
excellence.
get on our
Every
black
Wednesday,
excellence. I mean,
every Wednesday at 6 p.m. We are
He's
black.
a high value man.
We're
a high value man of black excellence.
We're like maybe like black excellence.
Yeah. Are we like or liked black excellence?
Like black excellent light. You know what I'm saying?
Light,
We're not
okay.
fully.
So beige excellence.
Beige excellence.
Waffle wonders.
Beige excellence. The waffle wonders.
Did y'all just fist bump on a waffle one?
Beige excellence. Beige. But no, but our black excellence, and you know, for Black Women History Month, right? It said black business ownership is higher than in the pre-pandemic, and that is because black women are driving the growth of black businesses. And so shout out to the black women who are saying, yo, look, I gotta be home, and no, we gonna start these businesses. You know what I'm saying? And then I would say, like, if you're gonna support a business, particularly in Women's History Month, make sure you support a black woman in Women's History Month. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to our black excellence. And you have our book.
Yeah, shout out to Tamia, who's launching her black business next week.
Oh yes, Tamia.
Brown bear.
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
So our book is from Dr. Frances Johnson Barnes, Pittsburgh's very own. She lives here. She put this book together called Love from Black Men to Black Women. You know, poetry and prose.
I love black women.
You know, y'all always say I don't give black men credit, and I don't like black men. I bully them, or apparently
maybe lights.
Yeah.
So look, the book's yellow and everything. And
it's funny that you're a Chris Brown fan.
And it's funny that, like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to God because I've changed. I have motivated.
Miracle Luther King.
At the end of the day, she is a new person.
Yes.
Yes, and this is the book that we're going to put out
Yeah.
for love. 'Cause
Yes.
love is keeping us on this couch right now.
Yes.
And
Love is a powerful adhesive.
Yeah.
Powerful bonus.
this is what we're using. This is the book. This is the book.
Yes. Shout out to and then our call to action. I mean, I know tomorrow we have Ask a Black Doctor. You will be moderating our Ask a Black Doctor miracle. So we're still, I mean, you know, we're kind of in a little lull now, but supposedly some forces out there, some variant is on its way to shut everybody down.
We're
It's
talking
so
about
crazy.
COVID, but we're also talking about cancer. We know
Yes.
this week, you know, has been a lot of announcements, you know,
Absolutely.
from Tracy Braxton on about like
Yeah, that was
cancers.
sad. That was very sad.
And so we're going to be talking about that. We know that there are some requirements out there, but it seems that younger and younger people are being impacted. So what are some signs you need to look for? Where can you go to get tested? So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow,
Absolutely.
7 p.m.
And I think also some mental health stuff as well. So yeah, all of that will be you know, talked about. So that's our call to action. Tune in to Ask About. Is there anything else? Is there anything else going on?
And we just,
Oh no. On the 17th.
you know, earlier today, you know, we were talking about, you know, white supremacy for
Yeah.
Carlo. So you can go back and watch that replay. And next week for Ask a Black Lawyer, we're going to be talking about the rights of people under the age of 18 when they go through the criminal and systems, whether it's in family court or criminal court. So make sure you tune in the 24th at 7 p.m. So we have a lot of great things coming your
And
way.
they said Herschel Walker said.
Stop.
Herschel
No, we're
Walker
at the end.
said.
No, we're
He
at
said
the end.
at one time science said man came from apes. Did it not? If that's true, why are there still apes? Bam!
Just play football.
I don't understand why you keep coming for Georgia. Georgia has done nothing to you, and I don't understand why you keep coming for the good people
Oh
of
my
Georgia.
God, that is
Herschel
hilarious.
fucking Walker.
So yeah,
I used to
so
look up to him, man.
I mean, you
You
know,
still can. Sometimes
no,
you separate the people from their politics.
yes, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, me
But,
neither.
But you can separate the people from the art.
I can do that. I can do that.
Show your shoes, brother.
Jesus. The good Lord Jesus Christ.
Show
No,
the
no.
shirt, because the shirt actually.
Yeah.
I mean, where do
Miracle
I
likes
where do
your
I-
shirt.
Yeah, like.
Yeah,
Okay, but we're done.
that's hot. That's
Yeah,
hot.
Thank you.
So I guess, hey, thank y'all. If this was your first time, we hope that you'll tune in again.
We hope that you had a high value experience with this week of white supremacy. We'll catch you next week. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Can't do better than that. We out. Value experience.
What's wrong with
Oh my God. Oh, let me start following.
A high value experience.
you? You know what?
Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and to wipe their mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy